is 2026. Can you believe it? It is a fresh start. I want to make sure I'm getting my life together. So I figured that I would share with you the system that has proven to work for me year over year when it comes to getting my life together for a new year. Hello, lovelies. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Jordan, cozy creative, helping you build a life you don't need a vacation from. We will spend some time setting the vibe and honestly just brain dumping all of the tasks that are just floating around in my head, or I keep a lot of different to-do lists in different places, like the notes app on my phone. I've got a paper journal that I write stuff down. There's post-its floating around my office. Just taking the time to really consolidate all of that into something that is organized and that feels manageable, so that I can give myself the month of January to really prep and reset for a new year. If it is not January 1st, past January 1st, if it is January 2nd or beyond at the time that you're watching this video and you still don't feel like you're ready for 2026 and you don't have your goals outlined and your resolutions and your space is not clean and you have no idea what's going on, it's okay. Take a breath. We are going to do all of that together. I typically have a lot of to-dos in a lot of different places. And so step one, you just consolidating all of that stuff and organizing it all into one easy place. So making sure that we are being more realistic with our time, our energy, our goals. It doesn't seem insane to me that if at the end of January, you and I look at our to-do list and we say, my goodness, look at all this stuff we got done. That seems fantastic, as opposed to getting peer pressured by the internet to decide on my vision board and my word of the year, my song of the year, my theme of the year, my intentions, my ins, my outs. Like, that's a lot. And if there's anything I want you to take away from this channel and this community, it is that we do things at our own pace and that it is a cozy community, which means that I try to unsubscribe where I can to like hustling for the sake of hustling and arbitrary timelines that only introduce anxiety and stress and comparison and making us feel bad about what we are or not doing as compared to the other person that we're watching behind a phone screen. Spend some time, honestly, just writing down your to-dos. And then I will come back and show you what my actual Notion dashboard looks like. Okay, lovelies, I want to show you what I've been working on over the last couple of days. It's taken me a bit of time to get my Notion set up, not just the list of tasks in the brain dump section, but also trying to organize myself as we think about prepping and resetting for 2026. Of course, we need to have the vibe, something cozy on screen to watch. I recently discovered this channel called More Memories. Subscribe to them. There's some steam coming out of this teacup. There are snowflakes out the window, but there's not a lot of crazy movement on screen to distract me. All the videos that I've seen so far have this really relaxing, like whimsical 1950s jazzy music on in the background. I just wanted to show you while I'm screen sharing. So shout out to you, Warm Memories. You are definitely helping cultivate a cozy vibe as we brain dump and plan and prep for 2026 on our own terms and at our own speed. As y'all know, not sponsored yet, Notion is my life. My life is Notion. So welcome back to the Notion Hub. For those of you that haven't seen it, I've got some categories that are personal to me. We're going to spend some time in my 2026 prep and reset dashboard. There's probably a couple of other things that I want to do in terms of 2026 goals and intentions, but customize it, tailor it to you. You're welcome to keep me on in the background while you do your own planning and prepping. I feel like I'm at a point in my life just being able to really get more in tune with myself over the last couple of years. 2026 is going to tell me what my goals are. I'm not going to be telling 2026 what my goals are. And what I mean by that is I am not stressed. It is January 15th. At the time I'm filming this, I am not stressed about getting my goals on paper and finalized and having my vision board done and all that kind of stuff. What I find works well for me is that I give myself the entire month of January to prep and reset. 4 weeks to just complete the tasks and do what needs to be done. In the not started category, things like reflecting on last year, setting up my paper planners for 2026, working on some stuff for my novel. I am very behind on my YouTube edit. I still need to finish the last video in my Christmas series. That playlist I will have linked for you. I realized recently it's on the list to check if I have a fire extinguisher. Where is it? And just in case, heaven forbid, something happens, like I know where it is. And if I don't have one, to go buy one. I am planning to list some things on 5 Mile. There's a lot of chore related categories on this list. I've got a couple of tasks that I marked as urgent, one of which is getting my oil changed, which I have been procrastinating for an entire year. If you have not taken care of your car in a minute, PSA to go and do that. So that is in a nutshell. There are so many items. So can you see now why I leave 4 weeks? And I'm sure there's things I haven't even added to this list that I've just been running around trying to get done. Maybe this will give you some inspiration, give you some ideas of some things that you want to focus on in the month of January, but I absolutely am taking my time. Moving forward for 2025 reflection prompts. This is a toggle because eventually I type out my answers, etc., 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 etc. This is just personal for me, and so that's not something that I'm going to be sharing with the rest of you, but you have the prompts here to work from. If Michelle B, I will leave her linked down below. She actually has an end of the year workbook with prompts as well. And so if you need some support or an additional resource in addition to what I've got going, I will probably be using her content to reflect. This is like the end of year reflection, and then once I am ready for that point, you can see she even includes kind of some worksheets around figuring out your 2026 goals and writing those down. So that's on the right-hand side here is her workbook, which I'm planning to work through in tandem. But reflection prompts, what is something I've had to unlearn this past year? How will I do this differently next year? In other words, something I've had to unlearn in 2025, and how am I going to do that differently in 2026? What did I accomplish this year, aka 2025, that I am proud of? And or what would my younger self be proud of me for? And I love that prompt because I feel like sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves. And if we just take 2 seconds to think about 5-year-old Jordan, 10-year-old Jordan, like what did I want for myself and my life when I was a little girl? Where did I dream that I would be? And then realizing that you have, if not met your childhood self's dreams, your childhood self's vision for her life, you might have surpassed it. You might have exceeded. You might have not even met it. Maybe your life is completely different than how you dreamed it would be as a kid, and that's okay too, right? Like maybe life took an unexpected turn and you are somewhere that childhood self could have never dreamed that you would even be, like couldn't even dare to dream when you were 15. When you were 17, if you went to university, when you were in college and about to graduate, like what did you want for yourself? I'm a corporate girly. And so there was a point in time where like, I really wanted a corporate job. I wanted to finish school. I wanted to graduate college and I wanted to get a job. And now I'm sitting here having done all of those things. And so I like to spend some time thinking about any younger version of myself. It doesn't just have to be like the childhood or preteen or teen, like in my 20s. What did I want for myself? And what are some of the things that I've accomplished tangibly or intangibly since we're doing 2025? Goal reflection. So I wanted to read 20 books in 2025 and I read 20. I think this is already sorted by month, but in January I read Tomorrow. Loved it. I did feel like they could consolidate, like they could have probably slashed like 30% of the book. There is this like heartbreaking event that happens, no spoilers, in the book towards the end. And I thought that it was a perfect place to end. Like it wrapped up a bunch of other things in the book quite nicely. And then the book kept going after that. And I was sitting there, bro, I don't want to read this anymore. Like you had me and you lost me, which is why it only has 4 stars. There is a column for rating. I don't do like half ratings, but then I think about halfway through the year, you can see down here, I was like, I need a little half star. So this I rated 4.5 stars. And you can see the little like badge. It's kind of like a military badge. I'm using it's like my half a star. So 4.5 stars is what I rated. What book is this? Oh, Just for the Summer. I loved that one. February I read For Men Only. Any books with fire, what are these? Fuego emojis are books that I wish that I could read again for the first time. And I kid you not, for the Belladonna trilogy by Adeline Grace, as well as The Rose Bargain by Sasha Payne Smith. Those were probably the top 3 books that I read for the entire year. Top books that I've read, I want to say in the last couple of years. They just drew me in. They are perfect 6-star reads. And then there are icons here for, I like to keep track of the medium. I do a lot of audiobooks because I like doing them while I'm washing my dishes or folding my clothes, or it's like a good break from being on socials. It's easy to listen to a book on my commute to work. So you can see that I'm not like as up to date on some of this in terms of just the tracker itself, which is okay. I am probably going to think about moving this tracker to my iPad and just like seeing if I can find just some templates or whatever so that I can do a bit of a book review. I move this template into my iPad where I have like what do they call it? What do the girlies call it? Digital planning, digital journaling. And I have a reading tracker. Then I just think it will give me more flexibility and more organization around like my actual notes. So if ever I want to yap on some of the books I've been reading and my thoughts, I will have a more organized way to do that. And I just say all that to say these are the 20 books that I read in the year 2025. So started a YouTube channel. Hey, hi, hello. I am so proud of myself because not only did I start a channel, y'all, I posted however many videos I posted, 7, 10, whatever, in 2025. I have learned so much about having a channel, being a YouTuber, being a content creator, adapting this hobby essentially to fit my lifestyle. I've learned so much about filming and editing and finding my voice and finding my community and creating content that I like, that I would watch, creating content that I hope is helpful and meaningful for you. And if you just need a buddy in a corner of the internet who is non-judgmental, and if you are here for the apps, I'm here for the apps. I'm very proud of my channel and how far I've come. If you want to learn a little bit more about why I started a channel in the first place, or just some of my thoughts on the back end pieces, like back end of YouTube, being a content creator, some of the stuff I've been learning, definitely check out the YouTube experiment playlist. I will leave a link for you down below so that goal is complete. Going on sub for my novel, I'm going to say ongoing. I wish that this had like a bold, underline, italicized option just in this database, but it doesn't. But I didn't go on sub. But I did make some really substantial progress on my novel when it comes to revisions. And so I'm very proud of the status of my book right now. This year, I think one of my goals is really going to be focusing on, I'm going to say acts 1 and 2. I think I finally found my stride this year in act 3. And my revisions have been going swimmingly. And I would actually say act 3 of my novel is stakes are high, tension is high. As I'm reading and editing, like I know this is a book I would stay up until 2 a.m. trying to figure out if my characters are even going to live to the next page. Like I went in on act 3 and I'm really proud of just where I'm at. I think that I need to revisit acts 1 and 2 this year and really up some of the tension and just clarify some of the stakes. So that's something that's going to be ongoing. Traveling to a new place. I went to Pittsburgh to see a friend. Not the international new place that I had in mind, but again, like for financial reasons, I got laid off. 2025 was not the year of making big money moves. 2025 was the year of like financial anxiety and trying to figure out my employment situation. I can't even be mad because I'm blessed to be able to get on a plane and to make it to and from in one piece and to be able to travel to new places, even if it's not the exact places that I had envisioned in my mind's eye, or even if it's not the most exciting place that I would have ever thought that I would visit. It was fantastic spending time with my friend. That's complete. Practicing my spiritual disciplines, I'm gonna say in progress. I definitely was not as disciplined per se with things like my devotional and my prayer journal and stuff like that. But I will say that like my relationship with God is ever evolving, and he has absolutely come through for me in more ways than one in 2025. And being able to say that I have a live, like a living, active, loving relationship with the Lord is, I'm pretty proud of that. So even though I would say on some of the, I guess it's not tactical pieces, but just some of the discipline, like I'm every morning in my Bible, like every day I'm in my Bible, every Sunday I'm at church. That was not me in 2025. And the Lord knows that. He knows that we had a lot going on. And so that's something that I'm going to say, like, I didn't complete it, but it's not like oh my God, you did terrible. So we're going to put that as in progress. I had some weight loss goals and just some scale, what I'm going to call like scale victories, which is I want to lose 10 pounds. And then like non-scale victories, which is for me, I want to do 20 push-ups in a row. I think I probably got up to 12 or 15, and I have fantastic push-up form. Like my dad was a Marine. I chin to the ground push-ups, and I'm really proud of that. Also just in like physical like goals, I started hop. And that's something that I was consistently keeping up with like once a week, basically for the entire year. And so that's something that I'm pretty proud of. But just in terms of like my weight loss goals in particular, I did meet them. And so I'm going to keep that as completed, mark that as completed. Refining my routines, again, something that I just think I'm going to remove. Like, it's not because I'm not, again, with the philosophy of the 12-week year, it's not because I'm not actively refining my routines. I am. But that is not a line item that I feel like I'm going to need for the future on like my 2026 goals spreadsheet. So again, like I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to say removed. And then improving my money management and increasing my savings, I'm going to say in progress. We definitely don't have as much in savings as I would like, but I did post a life reset as a part of my ultimate life reset series, taking control of your money and managing your money, managing your wealth. I did do a pretty cool video on that, so that's on my channel if you want to check that out. But I'm going to say that is in progress. So out of the 10 goals in 2025, maybe we can sort by ASIN. Given the fact that 2 of them, I'm not going to say again, like autopilot, like I don't need any work, but just I don't really need to have these in a spreadsheet. I'm very much at ease with having 2 of them removed, which gives me 8. The fact that out of the 8, 1, 2, 3, 5 of them are complete. Like I've accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish, if not exceeded. Peace, pause. Like I'm Gucci. I'm pretty proud of that because that is more than half. So that is the 2025 goal reflection. Once we get to drafting for 2026 and figuring out those goals, maybe I will spend some more time like walking you through how I build my spreadsheet and my database, my supporting actions. Like we can do a bit of a tour if you want, and I can show you just what I'm thinking. And I might honestly like make some changes to the spreadsheet for 2026. We'll see. But this is just the tracker that I used last year to keep track of my goals. And I am very proud of myself for where I landed. So it's nice to be able to just kind of take some time to reflect on last year and the things that I wanted to get done and the things that I wanted to accomplish. And I'm walking into 2026 feeling quite proud of myself. Let's talk about some of my content. So this is just the list. Again, this does not include all of the Jonas Brothers interviews that I found that I want to watch, but that is absolutely in an actual playlist on my YouTube channel, like my personal YouTube. When we get to the planning for 2026, I definitely will be having Michelle be on in the background. So this is just a preview snapshot of her video. On the left-hand side, I have this essentially into 3 columns. So everything on the left are videos that I'm prioritizing because I could get in a YouTube rabbit hole just like everybody else. So I wanted to really pick like what videos in terms of just like inspiration, getting my life together for 2026, trying to figure out my mentality, make my brain dump list, like what's the content that's going to either inspire me or just content that I want to feed myself as I go through this process. So I've highlighted, I think it's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos on YouTube that I want to watch. So I literally just copy pasted the links, wanted to make a list, just a little checklist for me in terms of content that I wanted to watch. Like for example, this says I made the perfect science-based morning routine for women. Do I need to watch that to prep and reset for 2026, to review my 2025 goals, or to plan for 2026? No, but I think it's interesting. And if there's tips that are science-backed, science-based in terms of morning routines for women, like, this is interesting to me, and so I want to watch it. They're About to Reset Your Money, What You Need to Know by Vincent Chan. Love the quality of his content is so good. I wish I had a bajillion dollars for a fantastic, like, camera that I know would spit out high quality, like 4K HD res footage. I'm not there yet. I do not get paid to do this. This is a hobby, but I really like the style of his channel, and a lot of his content is really good. But again, as I'm thinking about 2026 goals, one of them is probably going to be something related to financial discipline. And so, like, the very hooky title, well done, Vincent. Something that I need to know about finances. That's something that I want to watch, so that as I'm thinking about my 2026 goals, like, I'm in the know. Then in this middle column, it's literally just like random videos that I wanted to watch. Literally, that's why half of this is called content catch up. Like, it's just videos I've been meaning to watch that, like, I want to make time to watch. Literally, that's it. So we've got, I discovered Brianna Kwan. This is the Get Your Life Together Before 2026. Again, we're in the middle of January, but I still want to watch this, but it's not a priority. I've got some Becca Watson. She's got some really calming content. Lena Lit. I go back and forth with Lena. I like her content. Sometimes I find, like, she's an intense personality. Allison Back, I discovered this year. And so this is an everyday routine. Again, do I need to watch this before I, like, finish everything else on my task list? No, but it's on the watch later list. I discovered Riley. I'm interested in her 75 Days of Discipline, 75 Hard Experience. And then I also discovered Melanie. Do I want to be up at 5 a.m. at some point and be that girl? Yeah. But, like, I'm also not in a rush. But I would just like to watch her content. That bit seemed interesting to me. Finally, we've got some pods. So on Spotify, they've got a really good library of podcasts that you can watch. And these are just all of the ones that I'm, like, again, as I'm doing my dishes, doing my chores, as I am up here working through items in the January task list, I commute to work, whatever. It is winter season, so understanding and conquering depression. I love Andrew Huberman. I think that he is a neuroscientist or neurophysicist. He's cool. He's a cool science man, and I like science. So a lot of his content is really educational, and it's really informative, and it's just like he's got an expertise that I don't have. And so I really enjoy listening to his stuff. It is sad season. Seasonal affective disorder, seasonal affective depression is, like, a real thing that people struggle from, myself included. And so understanding how to conquer that is just, I think that will be helpful. Mistakes that you're making with your money, from Financial Feminist, Essentials, and the Science of Making and Breaking. So I actually listened to this already on my ride home from work. Resetting for 2026. This is Hot Mess Habits. Never have I ever heard of this person or their podcast channel before, but I was like, I'm resetting my entire life for 2026. So it could be interesting to hear what somebody else is doing, get some inspo. In terms of just, like, my fertility and things that I'm thinking about as a female who maybe eventually wants to have kids. I really like the She's So Lucky podcast. And I know that she rebranded. I think she used to be about Balanced Black Girl, if I'm remembering correctly, but I know that she rebranded, and I'm very interested in freezing my eggs. I wish that I had the money to afford it right now, but just as I'm, like, thinking about that as a potential in my future, everything I need to know about fertility, something that I want to watch. Then we've got the Discipline Expert, so habits that will make or break. I love the Diary of a CEO. If I had, like, big dreamy life goals, and I don't even know, like, why I would be on his pod, but I'm like, I would love to sit down with this. Like, I would love to do a podcast episode with this man. He's such a great conversationalist. He just seems very emotionally intelligent, and he is very smart. He is very in tune. He preps well for his guests on the pod, and there's always something interesting that I learn from listening to an episode of The Diary of a CEO. And then finally, there is an episode on Spotify that says, God said, not yet, but soon. And again, never have I ever heard of Girl Just Heal. I was just scrolling through Spotify pods, and this one seems interesting. It seems on brand. It seems, like, thematic, and for a lot of the things that I would say, like, I'm still waiting on God for. Again, one of the things that, like, my childhood self, my younger self would be proud of me for is I no longer carry so much anxiety around, like, where I should be and, like, why these things haven't happened yet and whatever. I trust God's divine timing for my life more than I trust myself. And if anything, like, he has proven time and again that his plan and the way that he orchestrates things is way better than anything that I could come up with, even in peak season. Being able to listen to somebody else's perspective on it's not always a no, it's a not yet. It's not always a no, it's a soon. It's not always when EJ's Golden Globes nomination speech. It's like rejection is redirection. Being able to have something that is more faith-based on the content list is something that I am looking forward to listening to, catching up on, whatever. So this is the inspo / content catch-up list. Then we've got some more reflection prompts, but I would say this is more related to 2026. So when you think about becoming the best version of yourself in 2026, what does that look like? So I'm going to pause here and actually next time when I'm ready to get into the mentality of 2026, prepping for 2026, planning for 2026, doing my draft goals or whatever, like I want to come back to this section and really spend some intentional time here and drafting my goals and really just trying to plan out for 2026, plan out for the year. I'm going to stop here for now. At least so far, this should give you a good sense of the prep and reset, what I'm calling phase 1, prep and reset. So I feel very, very happy and proud of how 2025 was for me personally. And I hope that you can say that you feel the same. We can draft our 2026 goals together. Next time we'll get into that. There might be other things that pop up in the planning bucket as we go, but thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. And until next time, keep it cozy.